Love is always a transmuting force process through us. It transmits what was an old emotion that may have had charge of polarity into a frequency of unconditional love that has no charge and polarity, but is our universal source to say, I am here to be with you, but I shall not violate my sovereign expression of my own moral code. No matter how much love has been exchanged from us, I cannot sacrifice and suppress myself for the betterment of you and not the betterment of all. That is hierarchical. And I no longer allow hierarchical processes to define who I am, and what I do in my life.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much, Andrew.
I want to
This
add
is
something
so
else.
good to hear.
You are a
Yes.
powerful, powerful woman who doesn't really understand your level of power right now. So, if you're going to go down the path of a healer, you need to open a shop that says, I'm a healer. Okay? I want you to put on that action plan that I need to find a space that I can rent, be it as small as it is or shared with something else, that I can put a healing table there or whatever it is that I'm going to practice, and I'm going to put a sign up that says open for business. You have thousands of people in your spiritual contracts that want to have healings with you, suspended in the dream world, waiting for you to step into power to be the signature frequency match for the healer and teacher you already know you are. It's a lot to process, but I know you can do it. I want everyone in the audience to give Julia a big energetic hug. Come on, big, giant, energetic hug. Okay? We're all offering you our service and strength in the unseen world to step forward and own your power. It's an unconditional source love for all these people that come to the show.
This call is being recorded. Call recording off.
You there? Julia, are you there? I cannot hear you, Julia. All right. So we're going to move on to the next call. Thank you, Julia, for calling in. And when you go back and listen to this on the recording, there's a lot more there for you to hear to remind yourself of the strength it needs to endure change. Next caller?
Okay, next caller is Lisa and Ed from Georgia.
Lisa and Ed from Georgia.
Hello, this is Ed.
Hey, Ed, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine. I was calling because I wanted to know what is my galactic history.
Okay, what year were you born?
1964.
Do you know what time you were born?
Is in May, 9:45 a.m.
All right, just give me a second to tune in. The 1960s had a lot of time travel energy in it, and it kind of helps it when I zoom in right away. 64. All right, so the last lifetime you were before you were Ed, you were born 1880 and died 1947, 44. 1944, you were living in Canada to, let's say, Lower California. You were a Native American from the Pacific Northwest, and you would travel up and down. You had different gold stuff. And then when the Prohibition started, you made a significant amount of money creating alcohol, shipping across the borders. And then you missed World War I, but you got brought into World War II as an older man, which was very unusual. And you died in the Solomon Islands battle. And that was the last lifetime you were before you were reborn as Ed. So let me go a little further back. Let's go 1630 to 1690, 1695, right around the end of the century there. This is where you were living in the island of Malta, and you were part of the Knights of Malta, a sacred, not just very sacred, but a mystery school that had relations to hundreds of different religions that were not just Christian. Kind of like they had people on from many different religious teams and ideological sects that were putting together a new Library of Alexandria, and that's why you wanted to have that particular lifetime as part of the Knights of Malta. And it was one of your soul's great victories and legacies to create a new version of the Library of Alexandria that was duplicated, multiplied, and spread to many different parts of the world, so that level of knowledge disaster could never happen again. Though when you had your life review, you realized it was still a hierarchical controlled system, but it satisfied something in you and your greater process of making sure all the knowledge was available to people. And this is something that goes on in your galactic history. You see souls that are much older and come in and realize significant portions of our history can be erased and be rewritten by the victors. Whole swaths of oral teachers and historians can be removed, like which was done here in the United States and worldwide. And you're one of those natural spawned oral teachers, historians, scientists, whatever is needed at the time, who can generate the information needed on point in the exact signature frequency of time that can organically create great change amongst a civilization that's learning to go through its different process of understanding how light manifests in this world. As I go further back, let's go 28, 32, 58,000 years ago. This is where you were living in what is now considered Antarctica. Though our modern history says Antarctica was covered by ice at the time, it wasn't completely covered by ice. You lived a earth surface, subsurface life where you grew your own crops. Everything was its own mini utopian of a species, but it was still a very war-based species. So they're called Yakunda, which are a hybrid between the African DNA skin suit and the South American Inca DNA skin suit, which would be represented in the Olmec statuary that is noted all throughout South America. That's that hybrid that lived in the Antarctic. Now, one of your particular esoteric skills was to get crops to grow in a place that had no natural sunlight. You could use etheric energies, the generation of your own light, or other, let's just say, bioluminescent plants and frequencies that could create light that things could grow. You were a master at creating that. So you were an underground subsurface farmer, which was considered extremely, extremely valuable as part of the DNA exchange and trade system that was going on in that era. Is any of this connecting to you?
Yeah, I've always had a fascination with bioluminescence. That's always been something I've been fascinated with.
Interesting. So that continues on in your history. The further we go back, we just see you doing it at a much bigger and higher spiritual and technological scale. I can go all the way back to 4 and 10 million years ago. Your soul is still making direct incarnations to give mass birth to, let's say, 10 billion fish or 20,000 trees. And those trees have spiritual contracts to go to other worlds. And it's not like you were, a tree farmer. You didn't kill the trees off. You were a tree grower. And you would try to bring in very powerful spirits to the tree because that was part of your blending of technology and spirit, which made you a highly sought-after personality.
Well, one of the things I was also wondering is, what is my soul's purpose?
This lifetime and this lifetime alone, let me give it the right English. You are a photonic being of manifesting light. You are not a transmuter of light. You are a manifester of light. So as long as you are transmuting others' light and not manifesting your own light, you're not on your purpose. You have an unlimited amount of purposes as long as you understand you are manifesting and creating light. Now, if I were to take it down to, let's just say, how the sand comes through the hourglass, not pebble by pebble, hundreds at a time, you and your stream right now have great potential when working with bioluminescence at a spiritual scientific level that can, let's say, use it for stress relief for an environment, replacing of lights if you want to go to that level of technology, or the esoteric process, which is using bioluminescence and prayer frequencies and adding them to sacred spaces so that sacred spaces have a bioluminescent frequency to their fullness of emanation. So if you were to go down the spiritual technological path, it would be creating a space of deep, regenerative, recuperating healing where people can feel that they can let down and go through healing spaces. Bring in the healing teachers, guides, and guardians and make it a sacred advanced wellness center that is meant for people to come and rest and heal. Okay.
I was also, one last thing I was wondering, what is my spiritual relationship with my wife's with my wife and her family?
Okay, what is the wife's first name and date of birth?
Lisa, and she's born in 1974.
So I'm getting a lot of opposition from that soul
Daniel.
family that you marrying her in the first place. Was there a lot of opposition to you marrying her?
No.
Well, whatever it is, there's all this competitional energy with you. Okay? Do you even sense it or know it?
No, I don't sense it. At one time, you were saying, when Lisa was talking to you, you were saying that we were related in past lives, that we had connections.
You do, but you were asking about the wife's soul family and their
Yeah.
physical family. And what I'm saying is they have a competitional energy with you. That isn't inherently bad, but after a while it makes it very tough to become good friends because they're never not competing. But they don't just do that to you. They're doing that to everyone they know. They always have to be one up. Do you see this?
Yeah, I think I see some of that.
There is where if you decide that I'm going to make sure I'm going to do my own personal energy work and no longer allow that to trigger me on the most subtlest layers, you might have a breakthrough with them and get a deeper form of relationship with them where you can bypass the competitional process and get to the authentic being.
Yeah.
And I would say that's been a bigger challenge for your whole life is bypassing the bullshit of masks that people create so you can have authentic human-to-human talk.
Well, yeah, I always try to do that, to approach things from that perspective.
But other people don't.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's what's screwy about this world. Other people don't.
Yeah, I've come to accept that.
All right. So what do you do as a job now?
Well, I was in engineering for a long time. Now I'm working in real estate.
Engineering to real estate. Why real estate?
Yeah. Because it requires less of my time. I have more time to spend with my wife and her family.
And what do you do with that time?
Well, we do things together, go places together, spend time together, go hiking, go, or let's just spend time together swimming, whatever.
Okay. Do you two share a hobby that you do that it's just for you?
We play table tennis.
Yes, that's okay. That's all still part of the physical sports. Building something.
And we work together on the real estate job too.
Okay. I would like for the two of you, you and your wife, to find a hobby you both can agree to that is something you do for fun, that isn't walking and exercising, that isn't hiking and all the other common stuff people do. There's a very specific reason. You and your wife have whole new levels to explore. Even though you've been together for quite some time, there are new levels to explore. And both of you need to taste that undiscovered territory of learning a skill together, learning to do something together.
Okay.
Okay? Something more mental than physical.
Okay.
Okay? What does your wife like to do?
Well, she's right here. She could answer that herself, I guess.
Alrighty, let me ask her. What do you like to do?
Hi, Andrew.
How you doing?
Good. I like to cook,
Okay.
actually.
So is Ed a good cook?
He's getting there.
He's getting there.
I don't cook a lot of stuff, but I do okay at what I cook.
Okay.
I like to try to make things. I like to try to follow directions to the T.
Okay. Here's just a suggestion. And sometimes with my Galactic Historian skill, it can indicate a bigger potential. I think the two of you, with what the different skills that you have, if you were to look at, let's say, next summer or spring, enter a barbecue rib contest. Him using his engineering skills to put together the right rib burner, purchase the right one, you two making your own rib sauce together and figuring out how to cook it, smoke it, whatever, would be a unique experience of the two different skill sets coming together. Who knows, you might win first prize. Okay? The same thing can be done with any food process that's out there. You guys can make your own wine, your own liquor. Okay? Begin to blend the two sides. Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Either of you ever brewed your own wine, beer, or alcohol?
No.
No.
No, we're
In
not
unison.
we're not into drinking alcohol.
Yeah, but you don't have to drink it. You can sell it. All you got to do is taste test it. It's the exploration in undiscovered country of something the two of you can share. Huh? That is how your interpersonal and intimate relationship will find whole new levels for your self-explorations.
Andrew,
Yep.
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Are children in our future?
Not right now. There has to be a really significant change in you first, and then in Ed also, that represents a clearly defined, intentful spiritual path that has intention to bring a child in, manifest it in a womb for a full 9 months, and then raise it until you can't raise it anymore. And that's not that that hasn't individually existed in each of you. You just live in a very strange time where the dream world's very upset right now. And you have an individual contract as part of your wombing process that you will not give birth to anything that is not of your divine co-creative choice with your bonded mate. Too many other lifetimes you gave birth to children that weren't your divine right. So that's why you've reached this level without children. So if you were to take fertility as your personal intent and ceremonial concept of clearing out the womb and the sacred masculine parts, make that a regular cyclical ritual, both of you going through the telling of your stories to the fire individually and together, so that you can begin to share some form of limited mystical experience of creating what that child would be like, what you would train it in, all the free will choices that it would have, the level of dedication that you want. And then begins the intimate process, where it is about sensuality without the intentions of sexuality. The raising of the signature frequency of both of those beings for days before there is a sexual release with the fertile intent of bringing in a child 9 months later, and all the energy behind it that it takes. If you add what I've just described as part of your potential, and that you spend a good, honest 3, 4, 5 months preparing and doing the clearings and what it takes to get on the sacred discipline path of fertility, I do see a child there. But without that discipline on both sides, I don't. Are you guys muted?
Andrew,
Yep.
can I ask you about my galactic history?
Sure. What year were you born?
January 1974.
All right. So a lot of times what I do is I give you your last lifetime before, and then I track back. In this instance, I'm going to go 16, 19 million years ago, the day you immigrated to this world for the very, very first time. Now, then you were coming as what's known as a free-roaming galactic citizen. You didn't actually have a home world. You created a ship that had thousands or tens of thousands or millions of others that were on it, and you were roaming around the galaxy with a simulated home planet. And when you got here, 16.5 million years ago, you're like, hey, I can't live in this simulated world anymore. Look at the DNA skin suits they have there. You immediately jumped right into being in the Lemur, in the Atlantean expression. Immediately. So you went from free-roaming galactic citizen that didn't really have a home world, and you've been doing that for millions of years, to all of being rooted into a 172-strand DNA experience machine that gave you a full 7 to 20 colors of time experience. So this life place over here was like nothing else you had ever had before. So it was going into a selection where you had Disneyland, Six Flags, and everything else all combined into one experience. So you've been here that long, but you've also gone through the grind, the ups, the downs, the destructions of the world, intense connections to Atlantis in Egypt, and in many different expressions of the different God archetypes. For you have been a God archetype before, as has many other people that have been on the divinity path. Okay? You're also a builder. You're one of those people that would have built and shaped stones. If you look at the true ancient Incan constructions where they built in megalithic stone with perfect lines, that's the type of builder you were. You could shape stone with your mind and your voice. You had that much control over this reality.
What is my purpose in this lifetime?
What are you doing as a job?
I'm currently working in real estate with my husband.
How long you been doing that?
Kind of been a family business for quite some time now. I don't know, over 10 plus years.
What did you do before that?
I've worked in corporations. I also worked in government.
Okay, what did you do in the government?
I was an audit analyst.
All right. So a lot of times when people ask me what's their purpose, I have my own inner process of, do you really not know your purpose? You actually do know your purpose, but you're still stuck in an idea that I have only one purpose. You have thousands of purposes. Okay? And I think the most important thing for you to understand, what you've learned over your life is the setup for you to come into your power and have an overarching purpose, which is ultimately service to your family, your friends, your tribe, your nation, and your Mother Earth. Making this world a better place brick by brick, stone by stone, person by person if need be. One of the potential purposes you have is to be an incredible healer if you decide to go down that path. Truly educate yourself and make the transition from real estate. You could have been a musician throughout your whole life. Unless you believe in yourself, all of these purposes are for naught. Is your peak purpose to sell real estate and make money and to live a life? Hell no. You're a bigger being than that. This is where you maybe got to see a different way that real estate isn't your job. It's what you do to maintain a lifestyle so you can have a life path that is full of purposes. Unlimited purposes that continue to give you joy and happiness. Until such a time, real estate doesn't even need to be in your equation because you evolved and transcended who you were into who you are now. Does that help, darling?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I got to move on to the next caller. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Next caller will be from the Virginia area. She just disappeared. Wait, no, there she is. Virginia area.
Virginia, are you there? The Virginia area?
Yes,
And your name?
Valerie.
Hi, Valerie. How you doing today?
I'm great. I'm so glad I got through. I just found you a few days ago. Oh, goodness. And you've changed so much of well, you've helped me
Well, thank you.
figure a lot of things out.
So how did the material come to you? Did it just show up on your doorstep?
No, I'm very much into all the spiritual stuff on YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube when I'm not working, and you just kind of popped up on my feed, and I started listening to you, and it was really, really good. You're really good.
Well, thank
I like
you.
all the things that you say.
So what do you
And
want to
you
talk?
know-
What do you want to talk about today?
I would like to talk about, I feel like I've been, I don't know, it's on a spiritual path or a higher vibrating path. I don't know what to actually call it for years. And then a few years ago, I was diagnosed with hepatitis C.
Uh-huh.
And, I see all this stuff about how blood is so important, and not that I don't feel important or I don't know my value and worth on what I'm doing to uplift the planet,
Uh-huh.
but I feel like I've been stopped or trying to be stopped.
You have been. Do you know how you got hepatitis C?
I'm pretty sure it was from a bad choice a long time ago. A couple bad choices, maybe. Yes.
Okay.
A long time ago. Drugs,
Yeah. When did it actually start affecting you physically, that you decided to go to the doctor?
Well, I didn't know I had it. When I went to the doctor, I was in so much physical pain. I was going through a really hard, dark night of the soul. I'm guessing again. When I was living in Arizona, I found out about 4 years ago, maybe 5 now. And it was a total shock to me. Yeah, I mean, I was in so much pain and agony from the fibromyalgia that I really didn't even digest it. And when I did, the next day, this is exactly what I said to myself. My higher self always talks to me, and they said, just think of it like fairy blood. And I was like, okay, well, I know that sounds crazy, but that's just, there's this cure that's $90,000, $1,000 a day for 90 days. I don't have that. I'm not really into the traditional medicines, and the drugs, and I don't know. That's pretty much why I'm calling.
Okay.
Don't know which to go.
So when did the fibromyalgia start?
That started 2010, 2011 when I moved to Arizona. About a year after that, I was right next to Superstition Mountain, and it was so powerful.
Yeah. So when you were younger, so the you were doing some hardcore drugs?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was I had the typical 60s, 70s upbringing. I was abused.
Yeah. So I want you to understand that the fibromyalgia actually came from the types of drugs you were using there. And I believe you can have a significant reduce in some of your fibromyalgia symptoms. Have you done full colon cleanses?
I have not had. I don't have like the extra money. So what I do is I use, like, I've just tried to experiment on myself with food and.
No, that's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. So you can get a home colonics board, a Kalima board, for about $100 to $150. You can even make your own. If you were to go online on YouTube and within 20 minutes you type in home colonics board, home Kalima board, COLEMA, you will find thousands of videos of people that have cured their cancers, cured their fibromyalgia, all their own testimonies out there. Yours is your fibromyalgia is a combination of heavy metals poisoning, psychic vampirism that went on to your early part of life, and a massive imbalance in your pH and candida. Candida is the precursor for cancer. Okay? So your candida at overdrive created fibromyalgia as a symptomatic process until finally the fibromyalgia overrode its own symptomatic process. Okay?
Okay. So not having that doesn't mean I cured it anymore? Or
no, candida itself is a fungus that naturally exists in your intestinal tract. And when you give it high volumes of carbs and sugars, alcohol, it grows out of control and outgrows everything else.
Right.
And when it outgrows everything else, you can't digest your food properly anymore, and your body goes into starvation mode or survival mode. That means it really is only absorbing 5 to 10% of what's actually going through the intestinal tract.
Okay.
So you can go and do the research on home colonics, home Kalima boards, and there you can do 3 to 4 per week spaced out without causing yourself to go into sepsis, where if you detox too much, your body just starts letting go and letting go. You can learn about coffee enemas, where you can do a coffee enema in the middle week, 2 Kalimas in the middle to the weekend, until you're able to get roughly 3 to 4 in a week for about 10 to 15 weeks. Now that's common throughout all the research that you'll discover. The closer that you can do them without causing yourself to go in too much of a letdown, the faster you will go through the full internal colon cleansing process. Your goal is to get to what's called the black water. That means your entire internal system has let go of every piece of solid fecal matter and is down to the mucus layer. And when you start doing home Kalimas and you get in the right amount of food and frequency, you will literally crap out like a half-mile long thing of mucus, and then you're done. And there is where you restart your entire system by using the acidophilus and all those other things that are out there that restart all the microorganisms in your body.
Oh, wow, I did not know that.
Okay, this will clear up 60% of your fibromyalgia symptoms.
Okay.
60%. The other 40% is trauma that you have taken from abuse growing up in life as a woman. That's trauma that's in the body, that's keeping the body unable to heal at the next level. Shame, blame, and guilt. This is where you have to take the next personal choice layer. What do I want to do to heal myself?
Exactly.
My initial advice for you is you need to begin to figure out how to get body work done to you. Your body is fixated from pain, traumatized from psychological pressure, and is still trying to live in a body that's in survival mode for 10 plus years.
Yes.
Okay? You can't live like that.
No, it's irritating,
Okay?
to say the least.
Who do you have that you can trade work, or they will come and do real body work on you? Deep tissue massage, craniosacral therapy, anything you can get now that actually is pushing on your body and helping you release toxins from different places while you begin to do your kalima therapy or your colonic therapy.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard you mention this on another video, the cranial thing, and I didn't understand it.
So craniosacral therapy is a type of energetic process where they are able to connect to your craniosacral pulse and release the muscles and the fascia around there. And there's certain parts of craniosacral where they learn what's called myofascial release. That is what you are desperately in need of, full-on intraoral myofascial release around the entire body. Think of the body having 5 areas where shoelaces are tied very tight. Your shoelaces are so tight you can barely, your muscles are squeezed so tight you can't even get all the toxins out of the muscles. That's why you have fibromyalgia. You have leftover lactic acids that have been stuck in the muscles for years. And you can't absorb enough water and release enough water to get these stuck toxins out.
Wow.
Therefore, they're stuck in the intestinal tract, and your liver's always overloaded. And once you have liver back up, the next thing that's happening is you know, the whole symptoms from the fibromyalgia take over. Your immunity system goes down, and bang, Hep C, which normally exists everywhere, suddenly is, you know, destroying your life. Do I believe you can get rid of the Hep C? I think if you were to go and read just the testimonies on home colonics therapy, and you will discover people have already figured out how to do it. And yes, you will have a nutritional change. It's all about the type of protein you're going to start processing now so that your immune system can actually begin to fight it off.
Okay. I will definitely, that's what I'll start doing, is reading it. Oh, gosh. I just never felt like it was going to be healed by the medical profession. I just never felt that for the Hep C.
Yeah.
So, for the fibromyalgia, I've tried everything. I've took myself off every drug they've given me. I take magnesium, a lot of it, trying to, and it really does help with the pain.
So
I have to say,
have you used cannabis?
Yes, I do use cannabis.
Are you using it as an oil?
No, I'm using it in a state that it's not.
So it's not legal. It's not legal in your state. So you can still purchase CBD oil through Amazon that can be delivered that's not extracted from a plant. As well as travel to a state and pick up CBD pills and travel back to your state. They'll never know. Okay?
Okay, yeah, my mom lives in Arizona. Well, that's where I used to live. Now I live in Virginia.
Okay.
But can I ask you about why I was being shut down psychologically and all the psychic vampirism as a child?
Because if you'd woke up, you'd discover your greater inner purpose to shed off the vampires and become a spiritual being who ultimately wants to be a teacher of this world.
Yes, I do.
Okay?
And I do know how to get rid of them.
Right, a teacher to the 7 future generations. The journey there was what it took to get the vampires out of your frequency, what it's take for you to heal the fibromyalgia. I cannot tell you how many healers have come to me over the years that have had fibromyalgia, and then they discovered their next layer of healing. Or it was the fibromyalgia that led them to healing and discovering how to heal themselves until ultimately they learned enough that they could start teaching others. This legacy waits for you. And if you see these trials and tribulations you're going through as a legacy to heal the future, not only will you break it, you will break it with the golden star that is you.
Oh. I'm trying. I keep trying. I keep trying to figure it out and ask the questions and find people who seem to know the answers. And you really, really have. I appreciate you so much helping me, because I'm going to go through all the colonic stuff. I waited on a bunch of this funny I don't know what's coming to me. I'm a server, and a while back I did banquets, and there was a whole colonic convention for a weekend, and I really wish I would have been more aware at the time.
Okay.
But I'm sure I can find someone around here and find out the information.
Right.
Is there anything else that you
So body work. So colonics and body work.
Colonics and body work.
Who do you know that what you'll be able to start getting immediate body work on? And I mean like tomorrow and the next day. You need it so that you can start alchemizing some of this energy out of your body that's causing these cyclical pains.
Okay, I don't know anybody, but I'm sure I can find someone around here.
Okay.
And I know, I'm being told to do that, to get body work, and I have a really hard time. This is another thing. Trusting anyone touching me is hard.
I know, and that's the psychological trauma from the abuse that you took. This is what is going to make you a strong teacher. Okay? By trusting yourself and trusting the healing community that is there for you to heal, that the Great Spirit has lined up perfect synchronicities for you, just like this call.
Yes, really, I was so blessed. This is so cool. And I know, so you think that, because I feel like I'm being asked to learn about healing to be a healer. I believe that's true.
So you can be a healed healer, meaning you've gone through your own healing through experience, so you can teach others the nature of healing itself.
Yeah, that's what I really want to do.
Okay. It's your legacy to your future, your own future.
Okay. Is there anything about my past lives you might want to tell me?
Before we venture into there, we've got to talk about your job that you're doing now. What are you doing?
Oh, God, I'm a waitress, and I get my butt kicked every day, even more so than I already am. But I don't even know why I'm still doing it. Every day I want to quit, but I like the people I work with. I like the company I work for. I've worked for them for 4 years, well, actually 7. This is my second time back, but I'm older, and I really don't want to serve anymore.
Okay.
It's not that there's anything wrong with the job. It's just physically, it's a lot.
Right. It's not, you're unable to do it anymore.
Right.
Okay. And every day you're continuing to do that job, you are going to start doing more and more damage to yourself.
I know. It's what I'm being told by my higher self.
What is the alternative? You settled for the restaurant, darling. You settled a long time ago.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did settle. I just took the easy way out. You know, I was the partier, and I just didn't even think I was going to be here that long. I don't know. Just lifetimes ago.
Well,
seems like.
Are you able to get government assistance to go back to school?
I believe I can finish my. So I was in 10 credits away from my associate's degree in social sciences.
That's a useless degree, an absolutely useless degree.
No. Okay, well, what would I go to school for? Besides, healing.
You're not going to go to a college or a university. You're going to go to like a 6-week or 6-month healing school.
Exactly, but I don't know which one.
All right, there's 1,000 to pick from. I'll give you the first advice. Being a healer means you got to go learn how to be a healer, and you will heal yourself while you are going and learning these classes. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you a suggestion is that you go and learn Shiatsu point release. That's a 6-week class you can go and get certified in. You can go and learn past life regressions. There are many places that teach it and privately teach it. That's about 15 weeks to learn. You can go and learn cranial sacral therapy right from the Upledger Institute and continue your education twice a year. You can go down the massage therapy school, which is sometimes a 6-month class, depending on the type of certification you're going. Are you going for state certification? Because all these other things that are out there, the certifications are just papers on the wall saying what level you've completed.
Right.
Okay? That's the truth of the whole industry. It's just a piece of paper. Okay?
I know you're right.
Okay? You can go and learn Reiki on a weekend. You need to start learning. Okay? And if you can get the state to pay for it, or at least to cover some of it, this is your transition away from the industry that's going to do what to you? Shorten your life.
Yeah, real quick.
Okay?
It is. It's terrible on
Next
people.
thing is, healing is not going to turn over the money tomorrow, next week, or next month, or till the end of next year. You still got to learn, and you still got to heal during that time.
Right.
So what kind of job?
And it's not about me.
Yes, it is about you. It is about you and about money now, and this is something you've got to see. That's what's trapped you in this slave job.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So, what other jobs have you done in your life?
Retail, goodness, mostly I've been a bartender or server. I've worked in restaurants. I started working in a pizza shop when I was 11. It's kind of, that's where it was, you know, how it unfolded. I just didn't think I was going to be here this long.
How many years later is it now?
It is 45. Yeah,
There you go.
I'm 56.
You're 56 years old now. Okay? You can't live in that industry anymore.
No. I know I just got to do it. I know I just got to get a class, and not traditional, like you were saying. I've been getting this information, but I didn't know what to do.
What that means is you stay at the restaurant until you've learned enough to open your own business, healed enough of yourself to open your own business. Think of this as the last 2 years in the restaurant. I grew up in the restaurant business. I will never, ever go back to it.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You did.
Okay.
It's not funny, but it is. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, so 2 more years in the restaurant business?
I think you can get it done in less than that if you are able to engage your drive and vigor of I want to heal myself and learn as many skills and talents and become so excited with learning that it's blatantly, stupidly obvious to you as you slap yourself in the head, I'm ready to go into business. I've learned enough. I need to teach people this.
I know. And you know what? It's not that, well, I am very exhausted I do a lot of hours and stuff, but even on my days off, I'm so exhausted to just even look up anything, or the most I could do is watch videos and gain knowledge and information from people like that, like you, like I'm interested in learning. And is there something wrong with of course there is. Energy levels is all due to the same thing, the fibromyalgia and the candida.
Yeah, it's all related. And it's all related to
Okay.
your emotional issues that's creating the signature frequency of that to be in the body, unhealed traumas.
I keep thinking I'm clearing that, and I know it's...
You haven't got it out. Sure, you cleared it out of your mind and your spirit, but it's still in your body as a trauma.
Okay.
That's why there's specific skill sets such as myofascial release and soul surgery and soul-based retrieval and psychic surgery. Why those techniques exist. Because sometimes you damage the body that the mind can't get rid of it, and you need a facilitator to help change the frequency of light back to its original process.
That makes sense.
Okay?
Yeah,
You can become your own facilitator. You can become your own facilitator through knowledge and wisdom.
You're right.
I will tell you this. If you pick up 3 books on Kalima therapy and colonics, or just start watching videos, you'll be able to be talking to your people at the restaurants after you've done 5 or 10 of your own colonics and say how much your life has changed. And you get that regular that comes that looks awful and say, hey man, try doing colonic, and watch them come back the next time changed. Because you haven't done it and don't have the experience, you don't really realize how much is going to change your life and how you're going to be able to start your own business even while you're in the restaurant.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. I
It's
get that.
knowledge
I'm
here.
very, you're right. It is knowledge. All knowledge.
Seek that knowledge.
I do.
Passionate
I
with
do.
that
I've been.
knowledge.
Oh God, this is so exciting.
Okay. Darling, I got to move on to the next call. Thank you so much.
Oh, you didn't want to say about any previous life?
No,
Or
you got to
you
heal
have
yourself. You got to heal yourself before you're ready to deal with previous lives.
All right, that
Okay.
sounds fair. I
Yeah.
appreciate your time so
Yeah.
much. Thank
You are
you
going to
very,
change
very
your
much.
you're going to change your potential, and what will be read for you will be vastly different than the state that you're in now.
Okay.
You are always
I
a
got you.
signature frequency teaching of the moment.
Okay.
All right, darling, you take it easy.
Thank you so much, Andrew.
Yes. So I believe that they are going to be doing a drawing from the chat room of who is going to win the course and the tickets to come to the event. Robert, has that been done already?
It is in the process at the moment.
In the process, so they're still collecting names. All right.
Yeah.
So we will email the winner of that when that is all done. Look at that, all the people logged into this chat room. Outstanding. Look at all you. All right, let's take on the next caller.
Next caller is from Bogota, Colombia.
Bogota, Colombia.
Oh my God. Can you hear
made it.
me? This is awesome.
How you doing
Hi,
today?
Andrew.
What's your name?
My name is Juana.
Hi, Juana.
Oh, I want to thank you for everything you have done for me in the last couple of years through your teachings.
Aw. What has been
It has really changed my life.
what is it that has changed your life?
Well, number one, just living in a world of magic, of synchronicities, of alignment, of love. And I really needed that. I'm sorry, I'm crying.
It's okay. My heart goes out to you, giving you blessings.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Anyway, you have been the most amazing teacher, and every time I run into trouble while meditating or when I don't understand something, I go to you, and you're always there for me. So thank you. All right. Okay. I can put down the tears for later.
Okay. So, what did you want to talk about today?
A couple of days I had a ceremony with Yahé here in my country, and it was a beautiful experience. And I thought a lot about you while it was happening because I had no visions, right? Which is pretty strange for that type of ceremony.
Yes.
But there was a lot happening at the same time. And well, I wanted to find out from you if there was a reason why I couldn't have a vision. I'm okay with the fact that I didn't, but that was one question. Okay. And the other question had to do with, I went to a very powerful place here in my country a few weeks ago, and my feet got really swollen for about 2 weeks, and nothing will heal them. And I felt like I picked up an illness from the land. And I'm healed now, but I just want to know if that's what took place. So those are my 2 questions at the moment.
All right. So, were you doing ayahuasca? What medicine were you using?
Yeah.
Did you do
ayahuasca.
1 ceremony or 5 nights of ceremony?
No, I did the first one Saturday night, and I will be doing 2 ceremonies tomorrow. One with the Inipi ceremony, and
you will have
right
your
after.
Experience. And it's key to continue the experiences. Now, why didn't you have it? You weren't ready. You still had a lot to purge. Ayahuasca is a purger, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Until you get into that moment
was.
of surrender and you go, oh, my Lord, I need my unconditional love. And pang, it's there.
I did feel love, and I felt the medicine was scanning my blood, my entire body.
Yes.
And it was doing some physical healing. And emotional healing,
and
that's for certain.
And DNA surgery. There were certain aspects to the lineage that you were born in that there were these very subtle blocks to great power. And what they're trying to do is set you up for a vision that's just going to proverbially give you a wedgie. It's going to give you a wedgie. It's going to be big. Okay?
Wow. Thank you. Hmm.
Because you are a powerful being and they cannot give you a 10-year-old's medicine trip. It needs to be tailored for you. That helps you understand your part in the purpose and Great Mystery's plan. The way I am able to do what I do is I understand my part in the plan. I don't need to change it or compete against anything.
Hmm.
So for you, it's understanding the next non-competitional process for you. How to stop competing with all the other spiritual people out there with what your experience means to you. To learn co-creation with the medicine. To learn equal co-creation, non-competitional, non-hierarchical order, and make that a part of your daily, weekly, and monthly process.
Okay. Makes sense.
Now, the medicine itself is going to give unique visions. I can't give any away of it because it's their fireworks show. Okay?
That's all right.
All right?
Yeah.
So what happened with the feet swelling, was that a negative energy from the area? It was more like ancestral energy was very off there, and your feet swelled to stop you from taking up more negative ancestral energy.
That's what I felt. I felt the region of Colombia where I was at, there is a lot of plant medicine there too, the sacred coca leaf.
Yep.
But there is a lot of corruption, and I felt that there was a fight of the energy of the plant, the beautiful sacred energy versus the corruption of that energy within that land, not just in my country or the world, but it was...
Right.
I felt it very strongly.
Right. And I could give people out there some nightmare stories of people that have come to have ayahuasca tours and been taken advantage of by shamans by all over that area. And there are some places in Peru and in Bolivia where it's, like every bar is offering ayahuasca on Thursdays and it's free ladies' night.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah,
no.
It's become that bad. And I advise anyone that's going to go on journeys, make sure you do your research. There's a lot of scam artists out there. Okay?
Okay, that answers my question as far as the sweet swelling. That was pretty awful.
Okay. So you said you're doing your next journey tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah.
The irony, you had one yesterday, you called on the show, and here you are. So at this moment, I'm actually talking to the plant communities right now, and it's not often that I get to do that live on a show. So just give me a second to finish the little joke that they got going with me.
All right.
All right, so there's going to be at some point during this medicine journey that you're going to break down and laugh as if your sides are splitting from pure universal joke. All right?
Okay.
And this is a prophetic moment just for you. As you begin to understand the universal joke, all of these patterns are going to come into recognition for you. Former life patterns, this lifetime, other lifetimes, and it's going to line up to show you your path to the stars and beyond. How to be a mediator and translator to our star brothers and sisters, so that they have someone.
Which I have been doing before, Andrew. I wanted to ask you about the translation too. So I'm sorry, interrupting you. Continue, please.
Except you're going to be able to be a telepathic translator. Okay? That's what they're setting you up for. They're setting you up to have full-on communication with physical beings who aren't medicine beings, who are in ships, who need a direct translator of their culture so that we don't misunderstand them when they say, hey, I want to become friends, let's make first contact.
Got it.
Okay? And there are many species out there that uses a dialect of telepathy that's built inside your DNA. And that's some of the DNA surgery that the first round of medicine did on you. Have you found yourself at all doing any light languages over your life?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
A lot of them, very different kinds, and a lot of them sound also like animal speak, like crickets or dolphins or like.
So, can you give me a sample of your light language?
No, I can't right now. I have to be in like deep meditation to do that, and I'm so excited. I can concentrate.
Okay, I'm gonna try to trigger you a little bit, even if you can get one or two
Okay,
words. I
I'm
just need
ready.
to hear a frequency. Hiko, yaka, shumaka, hata nata, tamo hita naka, kashimoni, nika, makachi, shomana naka, kashamata takata, chimo, mochotaka.
It's so hard right now.
I know. Just try a couple words.
Oh, yeah. I get very nervous just to know that people is listening.
It's okay.
When he starts, he goes on for. I remember you talked to another caller a couple days ago about when they start their light language too, that it goes on for like 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah, that's how it is for me. Once I start, I can't stop, and
Okay.
it just goes. But it's
All right,
different.
I got it. You don't have to push yourself. I got what
Thank
was
you.
in
I'm
your
sorry.
frequency. All right.
It's
So,
just-
what I would like for you to do is to begin to practice 5 minutes of talk without it having to be 45 minutes. And I want you
How
to
do I do that?
Choice.
Okay.
And you say out loud to yourself, I'm engaging the sacred frequency so that I can go 5 minutes and stop and process and write down what I think I said. This is my human discerning and interacting with the medicine that I've been learning and speaking my whole life. It is my sovereign duty to study and discern every aspect and angle of it, and I make it my sovereign choice to slow this process, observe, discern, and co-create with.
Okay.
You grab hold of this skill, you are going to be the eternal translator to tens of thousands of species.
Oh, wow. Thank
Okay.
you, Andrew.
You're welcome.
Okay. You're so special.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I'm in so much happiness at this moment. May I ask you a couple more questions?
Sure, go right ahead.
Okay. Regarding the advanced heart meditation, I've been doing that in the last week a couple times. And I feel that when I am doing this step in regards to the healing of the pericardium, there is a lot of damage and a lot of pain there that I feel I release, but I'm not able to. I feel like there is something there that I can't access completely. There is like a heart barrier.
All right.
Of sorts.
Okay,
Do I need to do it every day? How often should I do the advanced heart meditation too?
The heart meditation is all about the level of adult intent you're giving to each aspect of it. So clearing of the pericardium is taking the time, how time takes, wounds take time to heal, certain emotional love takes time to heal, so on and so forth. The pericardium is the filter of time and how it damages the heart. So when you're healing the pericardium, you're ultimately healing the heart and allowing time to not be so damaging to certain wounds. You are modifying it. Now, this is where you can imprint into the blood as well as the water that's in the pericardium a newer form of letting go. This is where you're going to begin to imprint the fetus into the pericardium as well as the heart. Bringing more of your I Am Transit's meditative awareness to the part that you believe you're being blocked with. Now, part of what's going on there is you've got some very ancient waters that you're not letting go of. Previous heart-based experiences that you're going to start purging on your second, third, and fourth, round here shortly.
Okay.
So what I would do is, as part of your preparation for the next ceremony, is to focus on the blood in the existing body, the marrow in your body, and all of the water that's retained into you to have these new programs of cleaning the heart, cleaning the internal energy systems, assisting the purging of what's going to be going on with your ayahuasca process, so you can have a deeper mystical connection.
Okay.
Now, have you done the shaman's death?
Oh, yeah. Many times. I love it.
Okay. What are some of the other ones that are connecting? Have you done the consciousness strike?
Yes, about 3 or 4 times. Okay. And I cry every time. I love it. I feel very good at doing the revocations.
Yes.
Like, with
Now,
some power.
Will they allow you to do the revocations during your journey, your medicine journey?
I think I'll have to do them before or after because it's very silent the way it's conducted.
You can't just read it while you're there. You don't have to necessarily read it out loud, or you just quiet into your own quietness. You don't have to yell it out.
I think I will be allowed to do that if I
Yes.
ask permission.
Yes.
I don't see
And
why
I
not.
would like for you to use the consciousness strike,
Okay.
and then any of the other ones that appeal to you at that moment to bring with you.
Okay, I can
And
do
you
that.
read them out slow. You read them out slow like you normally do, and you allow yourself to be introspective, to allow each word to assist you on the greater process of being a sacred, neutral witness being who has the ability to say no to the negative forces and yes to unconditional love first.
Okay, I definitely can do that. And I printed them all, like all the ones that I had saved throughout the months. You have a lot of revocations out there.
I know. And I put all those out there as tools for people to begin to learn on their own. And when they want to make the transition to the online course, it's waiting. And when they want to make the transition to come to the live event, which is going to be this October 5th through the 8th, then they make that journey. I'm not teaching people to live in mediocrity. I'm teaching self-illuminated masters the discerning skills it becomes to take what it takes to become grand self-illuminated masters on the journey to the stars and beyond.
Yeah.
That's the unlimited point of view. And everyone will find their own way to the unlimited point of view. So many people come to the couch on this particular radio show. You know why? Because they want to hear the unlimited point of view. They want to hear what the Akashic Record has to say, translated in 26-letter encoded English, because deep down their soul inside knows how impossible of a task that it is to encode the infinite in 26-letter English alphabet.
Yeah.
Okay? I didn't prepare one lifetime. I prepared 10,000 lifetimes to be able to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of time in the astral world and other worlds, mastering the ability to simultaneously exist, even though I've gone through the birth canal of forgetting in thousands of wombs. Another part of me was born in another place that doesn't use the forgetting of the birth canal, which was ultimately part of my interconnectivity of all of that wisdom returning to me at a moment when I was 9 years old at a baseball game. And ever since that moment, having to accept that interconnectivity of all of my versions of self as in equal co-creation, non-competition, non-hierarchical order. They're all me in a different expression, but all me in this expression too, if I should choose to engage them through that form of perception.
Yeah.
And part of your journey is a new form of perception of yourself, the way people relate to you, and how you're going to relate to this world as a highly prized commodity of a person with a skill set.
Wow. Big responsibility.
No, it's your purpose. Your responsibility, you're only responsible to your level of awareness and nothing more. When we are less than our responsibility, our spiritual hygiene is not in alignment. Okay? The universe will never put something in front of you you're not ready for.
True.
99.9% of it is just a change in perception and how we see it, so there's no charge and polarity creating fear. That's why the sacred neutral point of view is such a powerful perspective-based reality.
Yes.
So what other kind of questions do you want to ask?
Well, I don't know if this is pertinent, but in regards to my father, he passed already, but I always felt he was a time traveler. I'm right?
Yes.
Okay. And I do have the idea I will see him again.
You're probably going to see him in your medicine journey, but again, I cannot give away their fireworks show.
That's okay. That's okay. So, I mean, I have a lot of questions, Andrew. I have an issue with my digestion. I think I'm allergic to something and I haven't been able to pinpoint what it is. Where I get very swollen. You know, my stomach is very swollen, even if I drink just water. I have done different diets. I have done some colonics, not a lot. I did a lot of enemas, like home enemas.
Yep.
But I do feel there is an, like, I'm allergic to something, but I don't know what it is.
It's this reality.
Oh my God. Okay.
And part of
makes
your
sense.
medicine journey is to build an immunity to this reality. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Each
Okay.
sovereign breath you take will begin to help you understand the endurance of change. Change is easy. The endurance of change, that's the hard thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I believe over the next several months, life is going to simplify for you if you allow it. And allow Great Mystery to be an equal co-creator in every day, every moment-to-moment life. That is what the medicine journey is meant to show you. Even without the medicine, it's there working with you every day if you should choose to make it a part of your perception, your daily communion and union process. One of the reasons I can tune into people and talk about their animal medicine or their journeys or where they've been in past lives, because I'm in communion and union with my skill.
Right.
Okay? I have a precognitive workforce of infinite Andrews out there that are already working on the next caller, the next 10,000 callers in potential.
Beautiful.
You have that as a legacy, and everyone in this watching the show has that as a legacy, to have a precognitive workforce, not one, millions. If you should choose to hold the responsibility of that awareness, and that using it does not mean you do it for instant gratification.
Right. Now, I do have a question regarding my skills.
Sure.
I feel like I have a lot. I just need to choose some to develop more, but I don't know which one should I concentrate on.
What are you doing right now concentrating on?
Well, I've been doing more Reiki lately, and every person I have given it to, had beautiful experiences. Soul retrievals, I did a lot, of that on myself first.
Are you doing Reiki level 3? What level are you at?
Two.
I want you to go to Reiki level 3 and then consider going and taking the next form of Reiki. If you go to a website called Reiki.org, you'll see a teacher named William Rand. He's the main line that brought real Reiki to the United States versus a lot of the fake Reiki that's going around right now. And you're going to learn a form of Reiki that's called Karuna Reiki. And then you'll have another 6 symbols. So when you take Reiki 3, you'll get 3 more symbols. So you have a total of 6 symbols. So you have 12 symbology processes to work with.
Okay, I can do that.
You will be so enamored with Karuna Reiki that you're going to be so tickled pink that how much this set fits you. When I took Karuna Reiki, it really, really opened up a tremendous amount of, let's just say, gearing processes, what I could do with the healing.
When you mentioned a couple shows ago that you did future Reiki sessions to yourself, that was like, what? Why I didn't think of that? You know what I mean?
That's supposed to be basic in Reiki too. That's like Dr. Hayashi and Dr. Takada and Dr. Usui. That was their main thing of how you healed people. If you made somebody Reiki level 2, it was because they were trying to send treatments forward and backwards in time to themselves with the directed strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, that really resonated with me tremendously.
As of the beginning of this year, I sent 452 treatments forward to myself for the rest of the year. That took me around 12 days to do. But that's what I did at the beginning of the year for myself. Okay?
Wow, that's some sacred discipline. Beautiful.
But it was easy because I was so much in joy saying, future, look out. I'm coming.
Wow.
All right? It was because I did it in such joy every year that the discipline becomes simplistic for me. Simplistic. Was I doing it full 12 days? No, I did it about 2, 3, 4 hours a day. but I had done it so much, I've refined my skill set to know where I hold my stresses, where my faults are, and my victories, and able to enforce the victories and the good stuff and make sure that the stuff that's not so good in me doesn't have the ability to grow. Precognitive weeding of the yard.
Makes sense.
Okay. If you can figure out how to send 5 treatments a month ahead to yourself, you will be 1,000,000 times beyond any other healer out there. And they're the most predictable times. You know, every morning you're going to get up and have your coffee, do whatever. Pick one of the more solid times where you know you could be aware of yourself, sending a treatment and saying, hey, it's 9:15. I sent myself a treatment. I now open myself up and allow my divine force to pass on the legacy of the healer to me now, who is sending me through focus, through time-space. Thank you, sister of the past, passing on the legacy of responsibility.
I can definitely do that.
Okay? Life's going to change for you. And anyone else out there that wants to take up that mantle of self-responsibility. Okay. Any last questions you want to ask?
Yeah, I have a little painful one.
Okay.
I want to know if a particular relationship that I have with someone is like a karmic thing that I'm going through, or if it's a soul contract situation. You know, I'm having a hard time understanding it.
What is the person's first name and date of birth?
Date of birth is 24 April 1992, and his name is Robert.
And how did you meet him?
He's the son of my ex-boyfriend.
And what is going on with the relationship with you and him now?
There is some misunderstanding in regards to him and his sisters. He feels I damaged their relationship, and he doesn't want to speak to me, and there is some very negative emotion in regards to me from him. And if I did something, I did it in unawareness, so I haven't been able to heal it. I don't feel I did, but...
So first thing first, he has a lot of his own issues to deal with. And he came in with a contract to not have a full mother, to have a broken relationship with the father and mother process, so that he could heal that in him this lifetime. So you chose to be the wall that would have the shit thrown at it by him. Now, you can heal yourself of whatever projection he has by saying, I don't need to adhere to your point of view, for you were just a little tiny kid growing up and didn't know how real adults had to live. Okay? That's the first part. Okay? He doesn't know how real adults had to live growing up. And now that he's an adult all these years later, he's still being held back by the emotions that were impressed upon him in an unknowingness state when he was young, and now he's being judgeful and scornful. That isn't your responsibility to heal judgeful or scornful. You can't. Only he can. The more you forgive yourself, the more his soul will begin to reflect an imbalance where he will be forced to look at it, or the soul will present lesson of lesson after lesson until finally he goes, man, I was really mean to you. I'm sorry. Even if it's 30 years later. Okay?
Yes. Thank you, Andrew.
Okay. The next thing
Thank
here
you
is
for everything.
It's a good idea for you to just, on a cyclical process, to break all contracts, vows, and agreements with him. And at the end you saying, if there are true love-based unconditional agreements between us, we will have a relationship. But as long as you are enforcing me to have karma and belittling me and my journey, you have no real relevance in my unseen world. You are just another vampire, and the masses of vampires going, woe is me, I'm a vampire.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I created a lot of the situations that.
Sure, as a fetus in the womb, you set up a great opera. But anytime you can close the page on the opera and make a brand new one. That is what your medicine journey is about. It's open a whole new era of light. Okay. Have you been able to do Sanctuary of All Souls?
No, I haven't. But it's been on my to-do list for the week for sure.
Okay, I would add that one to your journey process when you go to do your next ceremony tomorrow.
Before I do it?
No, see if you can bring it with you. See if you can bring it
Okay.
with you.
Okay, good.
And again, I'm working with the medicine guides. They're like, don't give away the fireworks.
I love to be surprised.
Yes.
So this is great. This is
So
great.
be
you
ready
so
for the
much,
grand
Andrew.
joke and to laugh and purge and laugh and purge and laugh and purge until you cannot laugh and purge anymore.
Okay.
And when
Yes,
any comes up to you and asks you all right, you say, yeah, I'm all right. I'm laughing my ass off while I'm purging. Thank God, free at last, free at last.
Love it.
All right.
That's gonna be something. Thank you so much for all the work you do, Andrew.
You
It's
are
greatly
so
appreciated.
welcome. Thank you so much for calling and sharing as people in between your ayahuasca ceremonies. That's the first time for the radio that someone is called in between ceremonies.
Hey, I had to connect with you somehow.
Next time somebody be calling me on cell phone from one of their ceremonies.
Oh my. Don't tempt me.
Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, Andrew.
All righty.
Good night.
Good night. I want to thank everyone that's called in. You guys have been amazing and wonderful teachers. It is my passion to do this and help you. Thanks a lot, everyone.